Hi, welcome to my channel, Zazaline. In today's tutorial, we are going to be working on this fun sling bag or fanny pack, crossbody bag, whatever you want to call it. I see lately everybody wearing one. So I picked fun colors, but at the same time, not too crazy. It has several pockets, so let's start with this outside one. They are all lined up. It's a good pocket to get the phone in or keys. We have one in the back. And when we open it up, we have a nice two little pockets inside. Lots of space for phone, water bottle, whatever you need it. It's not too bulky. I made one before and it was quite bulky on the top and on the bottom. This one is a little skinnier, so when you put it on, it actually will sit against your body nicely. And you can wear it at the front, or you can make the strap a little bit longer and have it on the side, so like a crossbody bag, or you can just put it in the back and have it in the back. So lots of different ways how to wear this sling bag or fanny pack, if you want to call it. And as I mentioned before, it has the adjustable strap, so you can make it as long as you need to. And the back is quite stiff. I used interfacing that is a little bit harder, so the back is not flimsy. It actually holds the structure. If you find value in this video, in today's tutorial, please subscribe so this channel can grow and I will be able to be making more projects like this sling bag. It's gonna help a lot. Thank you, and let's get started. So the color combination for this project I found from this bracelet. My youngest son made it for me, and I love the combination of the purple and the light green and black, so I really enjoy the colors. So that's what we are gonna see on today's project. So let's get started. A little bit about this pattern. When you download it, you will have a guideline how to put them together. So this little circle, it just means that you have to connect them together. There are more pieces that you have to connect, and usually it says DDD, so you know that they belong to each other. And there are actually quite a few pieces today, so let's take it step by step. First of all, some of the pieces will require, like this one, will need interfacing. And I use two kinds of interfacings today because on the main panel, I wanted that panel to be a little stiff. So I'm using the heavy duty Pellon 526, I think it is. And it's this kind of like a rubbery interfacing. It's very stiff because I want a structure for that. I don't want the bag to be kind of flimsy when it's hanging on you. So anyway, some of the pieces we will have to prep, so let's do that first. And it usually tells you interfacing, so you know that that piece needs interfacing and you have to put it together before we start sewing. So I already prepped my B panel, and this is the Decoville Heavy. And what I usually do, I cut it a little bit smaller than the actual pattern, because when you have, especially if you have a domestic sewing machine, you don't want to have too many layers. And this Decoville Heavy, you don't have to use it. You can use Decoville Light or any other fusible fleece, would be fine too. It depends what kind of structure you want the bag to be. I want the structure to be a little bit more stiff, so that's why I chose Decoville Heavy. And you can see it's kind of, it is very heavy. It's like a piece of carpet. Not really, but it is very heavy. It's like a heavy vinyl, that kind of consistency. So I usually like to iron all my pieces so there are no wrinkles and it's easy to sew. So a little bit of preparation before we start the actual sewing. So let's start with the front pocket, and for that we will need I and G. And I have this beautiful vinyl. It is embossed, it almost looks like 3D. And this is my lining. So let's first take the shortest zipper, and you have the zipper pull on the left side, and you're gonna flip it down. Then you're gonna place your lining, and in my case it doesn't matter, but if you have the print on the bottom, the good sides are facing each other, so the right side down. And we are gonna take it to the machine, and we will sew 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so when we are done, we will open it up. You press it down with your finger, especially if you have a vinyl. You don't want to go with the hot iron on the vinyl. If you just have a regular fabric, just press it down, and we will take it to the machine and top stitch. Okay, so now when we top stitched, we are gonna flip it over. We are gonna introduce a new panel H, which is the top panel, and we are gonna place this on top. So you have the good side up and good side down. So again, the good sides are facing each other. And let's line up the tops. And then we are gonna flip this over and align it with the top edge of the zipper. And we are gonna top stitch right here. So we are gonna open it again, and we will press it down with the fingers, or if you have a fabric, with the iron. I forgot to mention there is a slight curve. I don't know if you can see it. One side is straight and one side has a slight curve. So the slight curve is gonna go on the top and the straight side towards the zipper. And we are gonna go back to the machine and top stitch right here. Okay, so we top stitched. I cut down the sides, so there was a little bit of zipper overflow. And now we are gonna go back to the machine and we are gonna stitch on the sides. We just want to secure the pocket to the sides. Okay, so our front pocket is done, and we secure the sides so the zipper doesn't come out, and we will bring our other panel F, which is the sides, and again we prep them with interfacing. This time I used the fleece, fusible fleece, and so it's gonna go like this. So easy. We will just line up, and they should line up. If you used 1 centimeter seam allowance on the zipper, this should line up nicely. If not, just cut a little bit. Okay, so now we are gonna open it up and we are gonna top stitch on both sides. Okay, so the front panel is done. We can put that on a side. So now we are gonna bring B and D panel and we are gonna create a pocket. And what I usually do, we have outline of the zipper pocket here. So I have a little piece of interfacing. It doesn't matter what kind of interfacing as long as it's see-through, so you can trace it. So you just need a little piece, and let's do that first. So just line it up, take a pen, here so you can see what I'm doing. And let's trace it. And let's trace it the way so the glue dots are on the bottom, so it's easier to trace. Okay, so now we are gonna need the iron. So let's bring the iron. And so very simply, we are gonna take this traced piece. We will line it up on the top. And we know that it's in the middle. The glue dots are down. And we are just gonna glue it. Okay, so the interfacing actually serves two purposes. One, that it's going to be a little bit more stiff and easier to manage when we flip it over. The fabric's not going to fray on the edges, and also it's easy to transfer the image, so you don't have to measure, you just trace it, glue it on, done. Okay, so now when we traced it, we are going to find a midline. So we are gonna do tiny little snip snip, tiny little one, nothing too crazy, just so we can see the midline. We will do the same thing on this panel. Okay, now we are gonna line them up. So we are looking at the right side, so right side up. And now we are gonna line up the notches, and I want this edge of the fabric of the lining be about 1 centimeter from the edge. So 1 centimeter is about 3/8 of an inch. And we are gonna pin it in place. Okay, so now when it's pinned, we are gonna take it to the machine and we are gonna follow the rectangle. When we get to the corners, you want the needle to be inside of the corners. That's important. And then again, inside of the corner. And just follow the line and go all around. Okay, so now we can take out the pins. And we are gonna bend it down. And just cut a little in the middle here. Then you open it up and you are gonna cut all the way and you want to get as close to the corner as possible, but you don't want to cut the threads, the stitches. Okay, so when it's all cut out, we will take the fabric and push it on the other side. And now we will need the iron. That's gonna be our best friend. Okay, because the Decouple Heavy is such a heavy interfacing and it's hard to bend down, what we are gonna do, we will separate them from the fabric and we are just gonna cut out the piece. Make sure you don't cut the fabric. You are just cutting the interfacing, the Decouple Heavy, just to decrease the bulk. Because then it's going to be easier to fold over, right? When we are doing this, it will be easier. So let's do that all around. Okay, I did it. It was a little struggle. The Decouple is really heavy, so it's hard, but it helps that you cut it out and then just do your best to pull it out so you don't actually see the lining through this hole. And now we are gonna take our second zipper. This is the second longest zipper. And now it's gonna be fun. So if you have double-sided tape, that's gonna be very useful now. So what we are gonna do, usually I put a double-sided tape at the end, the edge of the zipper. And let's do both sides, the top and bottom. If you don't have double-sided tape, that's okay, just use lots of pins. Okay, so now let's press it down. And so the idea is to place the zipper underneath the hole like this. Then we will secure it with pins and take it to the sewing machine and we will do a nice rectangle. Okay, so when we have the pocket done, we will flip the panel over. We are gonna take the long lining and we are gonna attach it to the top edge of the lining. We can clip it in place and very simply we will go all around. That's why we have a little space here, and we are gonna go on all three sides with 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, so this pocket is done. This is our second pocket. We can put that on the side and we are gonna work on our last third pocket. So we are gonna bring back the B panel, which is the lining this time. And we are gonna make a slip pocket. So we need E panel and we are gonna make a nice slip pocket on the inside. And it's up to you if you would like to have it long like this and have a little slip pocket, or you can have it like this and have a little deeper one pocket. So I have decided to make it long and I will split the pocket in half, so I will have two smaller pockets. And I'm gonna use my bias tape and I'm just gonna cover the top just to make it a little nicer, just because it's the same fabric, so you can actually see where the pocket is. So first thing first, let's take our piece, let's make it, and again, up to you, however you want to do it, but I will do it this way. So the longer sides, and now I'm just gonna stitch on the sides. Okay, so once you are done, cut the corners a little bit. Make sure you don't cut the stitches. We will flip it inside out. Okay, and we will iron it a little bit. Okay, so once you iron it, you still have one raw edge, which is the top here. The bottom is nice. You don't have to do anything about the bottom, but now I would like to cover the raw edge and just put a little accent piece. So this is fold over elastic. You can find these on my website, Zaza Line Studio. Lots of the things I'm using here today you can actually find on my website. The strap, some of the hardware, I have lots of different colors in the fold over elastic, and very easily you just fold it over. And we are gonna take it to the sewing machine and top stitch. I'm actually gonna stretch it a little bit, and that way the pocket is gonna be more secure. Okay, so this is the advantage of the fold over elastic. You can actually make the pocket a little bit more tighter, so when you put an item in, it's not gonna come out, because sometimes, you know, it's the pocket is, if it's like this, it's all loose, Anyways, so we can leave it as it is, and we can have one large pocket because it's already a little tighter, or you can still split it in half. So what I'm gonna do, this the ends are a little too long, so I'm still gonna leave about ½ inch, a little bit more than ½ inch on the sides, because I'm gonna fold it. Let's take the lining, and we will find the midline, and we are gonna do tiny little snip in the middle, just so you can see where it is. Okay, we are not gonna do any snips in here, okay? That would be a disaster. So instead, I'm just gonna use my pin. And how deep we want it. Okay, I think about 1½ inch. That looks like 1½ inches. Let's measure. Oh, look at that. It is 1½ inch. Oh, so good. Okay, so that would be 4 centimeters or 1½ inch from the top. Now we have the midline, and let's secure this pocket just in the middle. Okay, just here. And now let's secure the other side. So fold it over. Okay. And we will do the other side, fold it over. And make sure it's the same on both sides. If you want, you can measure it. I'm just gonna wing it. It's inside, nobody can see it. But still, we want to make it pretty. Okay. Good. And now what we are gonna do, this is the midline, and again, we will wing it. And I will do a little fold over and little fold over. I don't know if you can see it. Let me zoom in a little. So this is the midline, and we are gonna fold over a little and fold over. See, so we have 2 little folds in here. And we will pin it in place. Okay. And so now we are gonna take it to the sewing machine. So first we are gonna go on the bottom. Once that's secure and the fold is secure, we will do the sides, back stitch on the top, and then the last thing we are gonna go in the middle. Try to get in between the fold. Okay, so far we have created 3 pockets, well, to be exact 4 because this is 2. And so we are gonna put this on a side, and we are actually gonna keep this panel because we are gonna add the zipper on the top. So we are gonna take our longest zipper that we have, and also the lining. So we are gonna take the A, which is lining piece, and what we are gonna do, we have our zipper. So we are facing this panel up, so the good side is facing up. Now we are gonna put the zipper and we will flip it down, and so the good side of the zipper is facing down, so good sides together. And now let's go somewhere in between. I cut my zipper quite long. Doesn't have to be this long, it can be like this. Maybe I will cut it a little shorter. Okay, so I cut my zipper a little bit shorter. Now we are gonna find a midline on this piece. And midline on the zipper. And just tiny, just few millimeters. Okay, don't go crazy, otherwise you're gonna create more problems. Okay, and again, oh, we don't have midline on the main panel. Okay, now let's line up everything. So, sorry, the zipper pull is on the left side, and notch, and a notch. If your fabric, your lining has a good and wrong side, then you want to put the good side down, so the good sides are facing each other. And let's line up all the notches we have. Let me zoom in a little so you can see. And we are gonna stitch from here, so where this line ends, we are just gonna go a little bit beyond, and right here about 1 centimeter, 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so once we are done, we are gonna, and I already made a little snip, so that's why we had to sew a little bit further beyond this area, and we will do a little cut. So let me repeat it. And we are gonna cut towards the stitches. So right about here. This cut. Okay, now we are gonna flip it over. And now this is a little tricky part. We will twist this, like so, and like this. Okay, so we have both pieces twisted, and it should line up with the top zipper. Now we are gonna go back to the sewing machine and we are just gonna sew right here. Don't go over, just this part on both sides. Okay, so once we have done these, we will cut the zipper a little bit. And the other side is pretty okay. Okay, and now we will open it up like so. Make sure the lining on the other side is clipped as well. And we are gonna press down. Okay, so this is done, and now we are gonna attach the top panel, which is the C, and we are gonna check the or mark the midlines. So again, fold it in half and do tiny little snip, or if you don't want to do a snip, you can do a little mark with a pen. And you want to do just tiny, tiny, tiny little one like this. And let's do it on both sides. Okay, so just find the midlines and line them up so all the little notches are lined up. So the zipper, this top, and the lining underneath. And they are good sides facing each other. And now we are not gonna clip it. We are gonna do it as we sew. So we are gonna start from the midline and we will go one direction. When that's done, then we will go back to the midline and the other direction. So it's easier to bend. You can do tiny little snips, but they are only like 3 millimeters deep, which is 1/8 of an inch. So don't do any more than that, just few millimeters. Okay, so this is what we ended up with. So we will just flip it on the other side, and it's slowly shaping like a fanny bag or sling bag, whatever you want to call it. Now we are gonna top stitch right here. Okay, so once we top stitch on the top, we are gonna do a tiny little folds on the bottom, and that's gonna make it look more 3D. I think it is the same, yes. Okay, so now we have done both sides, and we are gonna attach the back panel. So we will need our back panel and the lining that we have done, the pocket, and let's attach them together. So we are gonna place this one, we have good sides together. So align the notches, including the lining. Okay, the midline is here. Okay, now we are gonna flip it over. So we have the lining here. Open up the zipper so it gets more flat. And now we will take the lining with the pocket. So the pockets are facing up. We will flip them down so the good sides are facing each other. And now let's line up the top. And if you follow the pattern and instructions properly, everything should line up pretty good. If for some reason one side is a little longer, you can just cut it off. Not a big deal. Okay, now we are gonna go to the machine and do 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch. Okay, and we are just gonna top stitch. Okay, so now we top stitched here. It looks much better, much cleaner. And now we are gonna work on the strap. So I already did the midline. So this is the slider, and I went over, folded over, and top stitch. So this is what you want to have. Okay, once you have that, you will need some kind of D-ring, or if you have a rectangle, that would be okay too. And so you go over. Okay, so far this is what we have. Okay, So you have the slider on one side, you have the D-ring or rectangle on the other side, and then you are gonna go over this middle bar again. There we go. And this is what we want to end up with. Okay, and then we will take the short piece and let's clip it in place so it doesn't come out. Okay, so now we have two ends, and we are going to attach these two ends onto this pocket. So let's attach it right here, and make sure that this is facing up, not this way. This is the wrong side, this is the right side. And let's clip it right in here. So that's the one side. Make sure it's not twisted. This one is up. And then the other side we will clip right in here. Okay. Now we can go back to the sewing machine and we can just do the ends. Just about 3 millimeters, 1/8 of an inch, just to attach these straps. Okay, so the strap is attached. Now we are gonna fold it so it's not in the way. There. Now we are gonna flip this over. And now it should all lined up nicely. What we can do, let's open up this. Okay, so once we are done and everything is closed, we are gonna cut the excess off. So let's just remove the extra fabric. Let's make it nice and even. There are lots of layers in there. And the same on the other side. And we are gonna cover up the raw edges, and we are almost done. Now, once you cut out the edges and everything looks nice and even, we are gonna take bias tape, and I'm using my foldable tape, the same one I was using on my pockets, but you can just make your own bias tape. You just have to cut it on the sides, you fold it, and this is just easier way. So let's make this a little bit longer. We will start on this side, and you will just fold it and go over. Okay, so once you have the bias tape attached, we are gonna go back to the machine and we are gonna top stitch. Okay, and the back is ready. So we did the lining around bias tape, so that's how it looks on the other side. And now my favorite part, let's turn it inside out and see how it looks. So there we have it. It's all done. It has nice pockets. It has nice front panel. Inside we have no raw edges. Everything is covered. We have nice 2 pockets in here. It's a pretty good size. And I am very happy if you stayed with me till the end. Thank you very much for watching. If you didn't subscribe yet, please subscribe. It's gonna help me to grow this channel and so I can make more projects like this. And I will see you next time.